All right. Well, let's wrap up what is in theaters by talking about Fall. This is the new release from Lionsgate, directed by Scott Mann, about best friends Becky and Hunter, who push the limits by climbing to the top of a 2,000-foot radio tower when suddenly they find themselves with no way back down. Art, this is definitely the most... is it agoraphobic? Is it the fear of heights? I think it is.
It's called Hell No, I'm Not Going Up There. I don't know what it is, but yeah, this is the movie.
Yeah. It's definitely the most acrophobic. That's what the word is.
There you go.
I've felt since the Robert Zemeckis movie, The Walk, where it's the Man on Wire story.
Okay.
Yeah. What
better.
was your experience of watching Fall? You thought this was better? Okay.
No. Not as a drama, right? Not as a drama. Not as a dialogue. Not as the acting. But the way they shot this thing, my palms were sweaty, bro. I was at the edge of my seat. I felt nauseous. I felt anxious. I go to see how they filmed this thing because they're supposed to be 2,000 feet up in the air. I already wasn't going to do it, Zach, but now for a fact, I know if I ever see a tower, I'm not going to climb it.
Nah.
They did film this on top of a mountain, 100 feet up in the air. They built a tower for it. They had them up there the entire time. And especially as you see from the poster, when they're stranded up there, the actors are up there getting hit by the wind. They're up there, for hours doing that thing. You hear the wind. You hear the crackling of the metal. I think this is one of the most effective movies at what it's going for. It comes from the producers who did 47 Meters Down. And they've been joking. They've been calling this 47 Meters Up. I think just like that movie, you're getting something that's going to have this really big tension riding throughout the whole film. It's this push and pull where, if you suffer from vertigo, you're going to throw up in this movie. And then they reel it back a little bit with the dialogue that's happening between these two friends and the buildup of what was originally a short story expanded into a feature. And I think you feel it within their dialogue. But I'm praising the way that it's able to just always find an inventive way with these girls who are stuck at the top to capture like a scary position of being up there. Is it a dumb position to be in? 100%. Is it a thrilling movie? Absolutely, dude. Did you enjoy it as much as I did?
I mean, I don't know if enjoy is necessarily the right word because I was also just like feeling my skin try to like rip itself off my body. I was like not comfortable with a lot of the visuals in this movie.
There's a backpack
and I think
scene.
that speaks. I mean, it really speaks to the credit of the filmmakers that they're able to evoke that just like, sympathetic fear on behalf of the people in the movie, because we're safe at home, but just seeing the positions they're putting themselves in is so uncomfortable, and lest you feel like, oh, why are they doing that? Oh, it's so unrealistic. I mean, they're doing the stuff that all these like extreme adventures on social media and stuff are doing. They even get that like photo hanging off the edge that I hate whenever I see anyone does on a skyscraper or something in real life. I hate it. It might never ever do that. But it feels like they're actually sort of commenting on a thing that is happening, right? It's not like they're completely fictional ideas here. Some of the interpersonal drama is sort of leans on the side of melodrama and is kind of maybe a bit like hokily written. And I think that's maybe why some people are not fully embracing this. But ultimately, like, the interpersonal drama is not why you go to a movie like this.
Exactly.
You go to it for the thrills, for that visceral feeling of like that you wouldn't ever put yourself up a 2,000-foot tower. But this is going to make you feel like that. And I agree with you. Maybe there are moments where it feels stretched. They're like looking for more reasons to keep them up there almost in a way, but it never really feels like cheap, right? Like I think the feelings it gives you feel earned. And I even think some of the places that the story goes in the latter half, some of the like twists it takes are really well executed too. I was pleasantly surprised. This movie turned out much better than I was expecting to when I started it.
He said that they filmed this in not IMAX cameras, but IMAX sized cameras, and the ratio on this bad boy it's pretty tall. for whatever reason you are able to see this in IMAX, bless your soul.
Yeah.
Try to take, I don't know, whatever can relax you and go into this, because this is, I'm curious to see people who have seen this in the theater, what their reactions might be, because I thought it was crazy.
Right.
I'm not sure if it was you who mentioned it, but it's like the one only trivia that they have in the IMDb, and people had brought it up about the PG-13 rating.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up later, but let's talk about it now. This
is weird.
Yeah, this movie originally had 30 plus F-bombs in it, but Lionsgate, when acquiring the movie, was concerned about how much an R rating would affect its box office potential. So the filmmakers used deepfake technology to change over 30 uses of the word fuck into frickin' or slept with or whatever.
A lot of frickins.
Did you notice this while watching the movie, or did you only notice afterwards?
Again, I didn't care for the dialogue. It's very corny. Yeah. But I would have never figured that they did that. So I'm not going to lie. It's effective for that sense.
Yeah.
Corny, though, to have a scene where you have someone saying friggin' a lot. But I just find it funny that the movie where they're 2,000 feet up in the air, that's where their VFX budget went.
Right.
Who would have thought? But
so funny.
I don't know. It seems like that's going to be a new thing for future movies, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, look, it's basically ADR, right? It's like a more complicated version of ADR.
But usually you got the back on someone's ADR. You know, someone's looking the other way. It's never been like full frontal, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely bizarre. And knowing this before I watched the movie, I actually kind of noticed some of these instances. Like it's not perfectly smooth, but as you can attest to, it's smooth enough.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's not the most egregious use of this type of technology that I can think of in film. And it's also done it's ultimately makes an affecting movie. I think you can't really complain too much about it. Devesh in the live stream asks, does it work better or worse without an antagonist like a shark? And that's a good question, because I think this is sort of in the realm of films like, what is it, Deep Water or whatever, where there's somebody in a perilous situation and they spend the duration of the movie trying to figure their way out of it. I think it doesn't really matter that it's like not a physical or like a living antagonist like a shark or like wolves or something like that, because like it's this obstacle, right? It still is this situation that they have to figure their way out of. It's almost more like an All Is Lost, where he's stranded rather than there's something necessarily attacking him. But yeah, I thought it worked perfectly well, and maybe even better because you're not like trying to get in the mind of a shark,
Exactly. Plus, they have their drama, I guess, in the back that you could attest to. But they had also shouted out Free Solo as a big inspiration, which you have to.
You have
to. But what I like that he said about that one, which we highly recommend, I think it's over on Disney Plus. It's somewhere. We got to catch this in IMAX, and this is a movie that's a documentary about Alex Honnold, who free solos. That means he doesn't have any rope. He's got nothing. He is going up there by himself. But they specifically said it was the psychology of how you view it from his perspective. So you having a drone that high isn't going to do anything. But when you see it from like the perspective of a person looking down, that scares you more. And I'm like, that's what I like to hear. Taking the aspects of it that will actually be effective. And it was effective. So if you're ready to be scared, Fall. Definitely a nice little thriller.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some people being maybe a little too harsh on this. It's an effective movie and solid for what it is. So
for sure.
I think we both would recommend Fall.